I think the Lenovo Legion Go has something going for it. Will it last long enough where they can keep improving on this foundation to make a truly generational product? I'm not too sure about that. What I can say is that I thoroughly enjoyed playing games on the Legion Go, and the performance here exceeded or lived up to my expectations. While I can't earnestly say I would prefer this over something like the Steam Deck, or actually the Steam Deck, I also cannot deny that my innate feelings are that it is in the same kind of tier quality as the Steam Deck in terms of what it can do. So what's the end game with the Legion Go, and how does it kind of move to the next level? Let's dissect my experience with it. I also want to thank Lenovo for sending us a unit of the Legion Go. Everything I'm saying in this video are strictly my thoughts, my experience with this particular product. I didn't get to watch this prior to publishing. So I guess a lot of the initial press when this thing was announced revolved around its form factor. It's a gaming machine that obviously has some heritage based on certain products. It is undoubtedly a mishmash of the Valve Steam Deck and the Nintendo Switch. There, I said it. However, it is a lot more than that identity crisis. The Legion Go wins you over much in the same way I thought the Steam Deck won me over with. The hardware itself takes a back seat the longer you spend time with this machine in your hands, because ultimately what matters is the idea, the fundamental theory, the fundamental execution, that you can play your entire backlog of Epic games or your Steam Deck library or just basically all your Windows 11 PC games in your bed, in a library, in a coffee shop, all of those luxurious things you can do on the go that you previously couldn't because you were tied down to a PC or laptop. This thing becomes a bona fide star when you start using it and you realize you can do all of these things. And to be consistent and fair with my assessments, when I first reviewed the Steam Deck, I did say that it was rather uncomfortable to hold due to its rather large size. Gosh, the Legion Go dwarfs the Steam Deck in size. It's not even close. The Steam Deck actually feels like a Nintendo Switch after swapping the Legion Go out of my hands for that. Like, this Lenovo product is massive. It is large. I received flack from the internet for saying that the Steam Deck was a bit unwieldy to hold, and I retract that statement now because the Legion Go has shown me what being borderline unwieldy actually means. Like, it is a large product. And I think, just because it's big doesn't necessarily mean it's bad, but I feel like the Lenovo Legion Go, ergonomically, the device just doesn't have much support for your palms where you grip when you're holding the console in both hands. The lines that the controllers kind of form, they don't really fit nicely into my hands to be comfortable to hold long periods of time. Like, I found myself getting a little bit tired playing with the Legion Go after about like an hour of gaming. The buttons and the control sticks are laid out in a preferable location for my fingers and my thumbs, but the width of the display is a bit large. It feels kind of big. A 16:10 aspect ratio on this 8.8-inch Quad HD display is where the resolution hits 2560 by 1600p, because that's a lot of real estate, a lot of screen real estate. And no, this isn't one of those like fabled AMOLED panels everybody wants on their gaming tablets nowadays, but the IPS display here is easy on the eyes. The 144 Hz refresh rate also helps gaming keep feeling smooth, but I just couldn't help but just look and feel like this is too big of a rectangle. An AMD Ryzen Z1 is what sets the threshold to what this gaming device can do and can handle. We have 16 gigabytes of RAM and 1 terabyte of storage on the model that Lenovo sent us to review. There's micro SD card support, which is vital for a system like this because you're going to be storing a slew of large game files and also sizable upgrades for those games onto this card. Here's a few games I ran on here to give you kind of like an idea of what the Legion Go is capable of. I don't have the newest Insomniac Spider-Man 2, but Miles Morales ran on the highest settings, but I would say was barely playable by my standards. The fan was blowing pretty hard in support of the game, but for the most part, it was running at a somewhat, I guess, acceptable FPS count. Keeping settings around low to medium, though, with the display at about 720p, was the optimal setting configuration for me to have a seamless swinging experience in Manhattan. That's when the game just was really fun. Now, a game like Persona 5 Strikers was way more capable of stretching higher settings and display configurations. I ran the game at 1440p, and while there were other things that might not have made it the most enjoyable viewing experience at this resolution, the gameplay was absolutely fine. I had a lot of fun playing Persona 5 Strikers on here. And most of the other games I played from my Epic Games library just ran fine. Like, some of them had maybe configuration issues, like they wouldn't go full screen, but after some tinkering, things did set up okay after that. For me, what it comes down to isn't necessarily how well the Legion Go plays these games, but how many games it can possibly accommodate. Because at the end of the day, this is still a portable gaming device that is untethered to a PC and a laptop. Even if a game can only hit 30 FPS on low settings, it is an advancement in the gaming industry. I grew up in the age of the Nintendo Game Boy. I had to settle for terribly stripped ports on the Sony PSP. Running a full PC game on a handheld was a dream that I never thought would come to fruition, and the Legion Go fulfills that and stretches out what I can run thanks to a few things we're going to talk about next. Well, I found the Legion Go to perform similarly to the Steam Deck in terms of running the PC games I have in my library. You quickly realize that the two devices are completely different in terms of the core functionality. The Steam Deck has a gaming console interface that also lets you boot into Linux as a desktop as a secondary use case. While the Legion Go has a gaming interface called Legion Space, it is unequivocally a Windows 11 laptop first and foremost. This is a mixed bag, as there are a few things I found easier to do on here than on the Steam Deck, but there were also things that I found tedious and complicated that really shouldn't be. The setup process of getting your gaming libraries up and running on the Legion Go is as simple as setting up Windows 11. That is a positive thing. You literally go on a browser and then you download whatever libraries you have and start downloading your games. The primary libraries consist of Steam and Epic Game Launcher. On the Steam Deck, the Steam library is incorporated into the Steam Deck, but the other libraries also require some configurating in the back end through Linux to get up and running. In this case, I got off to the races almost immediately with the Legion Go, instead of spending time online researching how to set everything up and organizing on my Steam Deck. So while I did like the flexibility of Windows 11 to download whatever I needed in this aspect, I also dread the downsides that come with Windows 11. Microsoft's operating system has a lot of system updates, a lot of these pop-up notifications that are annoying, and yes, you can turn these things off, but by default, these application things are kind of annoying. Dealing with driver issues are also, you name it, it happens on Windows, and it can possibly rear its head on this particular device because it is a Windows 11 laptop. I do appreciate Lenovo for attempting at incorporating a gaming style interface like Valve's, but the Legion Space design falls flat in a few areas. It isn't as friendly to operate through as I would like to see. And what I mean by that is, I find handheld gaming menus to be very important. You have to be able to navigate through your tiles and your words and your settings very easily to toggle through these things. So you have to be very vivid from a design standpoint. When you're scrolling through things, it needs to be precisely highlighted to extensively show you where your point is. It needs to be instantly recognizable. I found my eyesight losing track of where I was when I was toggling through the Legion Space. I think they really need to work on this, because I personally think a menu system of squares or something in quadrants would be much more beneficial for a screen layout of this size instead of a text-based one. And there were also funky situations if you use the control stick to navigate that you would get stuck as there was no feasible way to go back or to exit the menu without using the touch screen where you have to hit the X or using the integrated trackpad to hit the X. So some of these design menus just weren't incorporated perfectly when you're using a controller. Some of these confusing things that did happen could also be attributed to the fact that this has removable controllers. And like the Nintendo Switch, the detachable controllers offer flexibility in how you play games. The Legion Go pairs this up with a terrific built-in kickstand. It's extremely stable and comes across the entire back of the console. I found myself enjoying the detached controller gameplay with the Legion Go propped up on a kickstand on something like a table. What I didn't like was the experience getting around Windows 11 and even Legion space using those detached controllers. It's a headache, plain and simple. Like I said, some of the menus just don't work right in this mode. I also didn't love how the TrueStrike controllers connected back in. You slide them from down and up instead of up and down like something like the Nintendo Switch. I just found this not to be, it's not as satisfying to click in. It's like a really soft click too. And you kind of have to visually see it. Whereas like something on a Nintendo Switch, it becomes second nature and it's very easy to slide in. Here, you kind of have to aim for it. The Legion's TrueStrike controllers are actually really good though. They're responsive with my controls and input while also filling a majority of my grip. It feels very comfortable to hold. An interesting feature I haven't seen on a portable gaming machine yet until the Legion Go is the ability to turn one of the detachable controllers into basically a joystick. Lenovo provides buyers with a controller base that you can then house one of the control sticks into that and toggle it into FPS mode. It essentially becomes a precise control stick. I'm guessing this will be really beneficial for like first-person shooters or games where you want to precisionally aim without physically using, say, the control stick or the trackpad to do this. I personally had a hard time though adjusting to capitalizing on this functionality. But I'm also not someone who can stomach FPS games for too long as I get dizzy easily, so maybe this isn't aimed for me. Regardless, I can see this application to be further utilized for several gaming archetypes that might benefit from it. I'll never knock a company for trying new things to improve gaming and also solutions on how to improve functionality, so props to Lenovo for doing something different. What I will knock Lenovo down some points for is the battery life, more specifically idling on the battery life. The Legion Go has a 42.9 watt hour battery capacity, but from my experience with the console, it drains way too quickly while sleeping. If I said the battery life deteriorating is about the same when it is sleeping as it is when you're actually gaming, it would only be a slight exaggeration. I'm not really exaggerating that much when I'm saying that. Throughout my time testing the Legion Go, I would push the power button to put the console to sleep and then do something else with my life. And the battery life would still be substantial enough where I wasn't worried about it dying. Only to return hours later to a fully dead machine. Like a fully charged gaming session of something like Spider-Man Miles Morales could last roughly about 2 hours or so before needing to be plugged in. That aspect I'm fine with. I think that's a acceptable battery life number. But I need my portable gaming machines to preserve battery life while sleeping when I'm not playing, so I can maximize my screen on time gaming sessions when I do have my eyes on the screen. And I don't think the Legion Go does a good job. Whatever software is happening here, or even if it's a Windows 11 problem, it's not working out well for me right now. I've also come across these weird situations where the Legion Go wouldn't wake back up even when it's fully charged, even when there's battery in it. I chalk a lot of these annoyances and I blame it on Windows 11. I'm using Windows 11 as a scapegoat because I also do have some of these issues on my Windows 11 laptops, and some of these things just pop its head up after updates that it didn't happen before. So it's hard giving console gamers who are used to pleasant and easy ways to navigate interfaces like on the PS5 or a Nintendo Switch and expect them to have to tinker and troubleshoot like a Windows 11 device. So ultimately, that's the race these OEMs are fighting for to get to right now. Windows 11 is not a gaming console interface. It just isn't. It's not there, and that's okay. Windows 11 was not meant to be a gaming console interface, even though they do have that Microsoft thing. That's a different story. Devices like the Legion Go and the Steam Deck are gaming consoles, first and foremost. They are. they belong in the same field as the PS5 or the Xbox, even though I just said the Legion Go was kind of the opposite. It's a Windows first and then gaming second, but it really is a gaming console and it should be designed that way. That's why my thing with this review is that they need to provide users with the same ease of getting to and from a game in the next iteration. A gaming console brings you into the game as effortlessly as possible. I can't say I'm there yet with the Legion Go because of Windows 11. I had a great time playing the games I wanted to. It actually performs and does it there in the performance department. It hits all the marks there. I'm going to be going into the potential sequel of this device, heavily invested in seeing how Legion Space evolves, and I hope Lenovo does actually continue to work on the Legion Go, as it's a product that I do think deserves to exist. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Alex from the Sypnotix. Let me know what you guys think of the Legion Go. Which device do you currently use for a portable gaming PC? And I'll talk to you guys in the next video.